So today I have to talk to you about Christian persecution and atheism today. Now, if you ever wondered why atheists never make any sense with everything, so they stand for godlessness, God does not exist, etc. and so forth, right? And they'll be saying stuff like that, right? And then all of a sudden they're like, but we hate Christians so freaking much. And then we move on. We are persecuted and we are suffering under Christians. Ironically though, neither of those things have much substance or substantial arguments behind them. For instance, Christian persecution would be, in their mind, the fact that we have God on money. And they think that's suffering. And despite the fact that the money never did anything to them, and none of their rights of being an atheist has been hindered at all. And it's really a terrible argument. We just, gotta throw it, you know? Here's a coin. So he says, in God we trust. And then, if you read the Declaration of Independence, when, in the course of human events, it becomes necessary for one person to dissolve the political bands which have connected them. Okay, and we gotta go down to here. God is in there, and then we can talk about how, they are endowed by God. But the thing is, this was intended to be a Christian nation when the founding fathers started it. It's a Christian nation. It always has been. That's the way it was meant to be, and it's always going to be that way. It's just, and being that it's a Christian nation doesn't mean that atheists don't have the right to be atheist. And so to say that they're being persecuted because they live in a Christian land is baloney. It's terrible arguments. And and then the other thing is also where we support Islam, because if we support Islam, we'll get them out of this horrible Islamic religion, and we'll support them out of it. But with Christians, it's the complete opposite. We have to we hate them, and we need to annihilate them. Oh yeah, and they'll say that the founding fathers were not Christian. They were pretending to be Christian when they said they were Christian, and a lot of all the time, they have quotes in their own written stuff where they say, I am a Christian, because that's the way they spoke. And, they'll say they are actually deists or something who believed in a creator God, but did not believe that God had anything else to do with it. Still a Christian, but, it's a horrible argument. That doesn't prove anything. It's just horrible. And, yeah, this was enough for them to hate Christians to such an extreme that they go on such little evidence to just hate Christians on such a massive scale. And I could read to you, this is a whole nother video of all the things that I've heard said about they call me a bigot and all of this stuff, and nothing's happened to them. I went on Ask, I'll get into that. That's another video. Watch it. And I want to talk about what real suffering is, because we're going to talk about now, the persecutions of Stalin, who was an atheist and wanted to make his country an atheist country, and the atheists have these terrible arguments about how he was not really an atheist. He just said he was an atheist, but he was not, and all Christians need to die. This sort of thing. And okay, well, he killed 8 million Christians. Catholicism was very popular in Poland and Ukraine, and Christianity was everywhere. And he killed about 20 million, and it didn't matter if you were rich or poor. The bullshit thing about battle of the classes was just bull. He just wiped out entire races of people, the kulaks, dekulization. And what they'd have was these gangs that were political gangs things that would go around shooting guns over people's head. They really believed in the communism, and they were like supporters of activists, and they made like logos that said, "We will kill the kulaks." Imagine going around seeing something like, "We will kill the Christians" on signs everywhere. That's the kind of thing that the communist atheists were. And they had all this awful stuff that they were writing. Dekulakization. I don't know how to say it properly. I feel like that's the proper way. Let's see. I feel like this was a good video. But we gotta talk about how they're so staunchly hateful towards Christians, and like almost all the things you hear. Christians are the reason for all the war in the world. Christians, were completely Nazis, obviously. 'Cause, there's a very powerful argument for that. Because they made a treaty with the Nazis, so that means they were Nazis, and they wanted to kill all those Jews. That's a terrible argument. It doesn't prove a thing. It just doesn't mean anything. The Christian Catholics made a treaty, but they never supported the Germans' Holocaust. And the Germans didn't bomb their churches. And inside the churches, they kept millions of Jews safe from harm. It was actually a brilliant method of saving Jews. But anyhow, let's talk about how Hitler talked about Jews. And Hitler would say things about Jews that were in the same light as atheists talk about Christians. It feels like we got another Hitler up there, Have you ever heard Hitchens talk about Christopher Hitchens about how we need to make Catholics apologize for all these things that happened thousands of years ago? And the things he wanted them to apologize for was the Spanish Inquisition. He wanted them to apologize for some bullshit thing. What was it? It was, the Crusades. And he wanted them to apologize for, stuff like that. And the thing is, like, the people who did that are dead, and they're not here to be held accountable. And Stalin is dead, and he's not here to be accountable, but the atheists are still alive, and they are persecuting Christians all the time. So, like, people, use your brains, how stupid do you have to be to, like, actually watch people say, literally, "I hate all Christians," all over the place. They're literally saying it, and not, like, think, "Oh, there's something wrong with that," That is called bigotry, and it's the next step to genocide. Okay, so I really am sure I have made a lot of atheists angry today because, oh God, I'm going to get into like the communist Nietzsche stuff, alright? I'm going to let you go, and we will talk again soon. Have a great day, bye-bye.